Hello everyone, this is Lakshya from Abler HT Canada. Today I have one of the most prominent candidate for Markham-Thornhill region with me, Nirmala Armstrong. So ma'am, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for inviting us here. So please tell us about your journey from being a lawyer and to coming here.
Well, let me go a little bit further than that, okay? Back in the sense of why it is that I am a lawyer. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So in 1985, I went through the whole experience with the court system, and I saw how the court was not fair to individuals. So a friend of mine and I, we were talking about how could we change the whole system as policies. And it was suggested that I get into politics. Well, you got to keep in mind that was about 35 years ago, okay? Politics, as a woman of color, you think about all these things. And then my friend said, well, you know what? You got to become a lawyer, because when you're a lawyer, then you know what you're supposed to know what you're talking about, right? So I started that whole journey. I was a single mom. I was on social assistance. I went through the whole process, and then I moved forward with respect to getting my education. So my first degree was at the University of Toronto. I did a specialist degree in political science, and then I went to Kingston, Ontario, where I did my law degree at Queen's University, Faculty of Law. And subsequent to that, I did my master's in family law at Osborne Hall.
Okay.
Then I said, okay, yes, politics now, I'm ready because I've got the law degree, and I started this whole journey. So I've been very much involved in identifying the issues that have a negative impact or positive with the residents. And that's why I'm here today.
That's nice. That's nice. So you just told me about issues. What issues do you think we are having recently in this region?
Well, I'm a former regional councillor for the city of Markham. And being a former regional councillor, it's a dual seat. So I sat on the city council for Markham, and then I also sat in York Region Council. So when you look at the two levels of the different issues that they address, one is more local and the other is regional. I'll give you a good example. The fire department is with the city of Markham, and the police is York Region. So you got to know about the budget and basically staffing and a whole little list of other things. So those are the municipal level, and of course transportation, which is a major issue. But what I'm finding is that municipal level is, developing your cities and growing your cities. But when you talk about provincial level, you're looking at education, our healthcare system. And one of the major issues that we are addressing right now is the healthcare. Our healthcare system has deteriorated significantly. Someone just told me just this morning that they were diagnosed with cancer in the gum, and they needed to go get a surgery. And he was told he had to wait 6 months to get that surgery. Why is that? In the hallway, in the hospitals, you have people waiting to get a bed, and they're taking like a day to 2 days at times to even get a room. Why is that? We have less doctors. Why is that? So when we talk about our healthcare system, it's deteriorated significantly, that we've got to do something about it. And as the Ontario Liberal Party, and we are saying that right here in Markham-Thornhill, 17,000 people, would you believe that, don't have a family doctor? Why is that? So we promise in the 4 years that we will be the governing body, that we will ensure that every single person in Ontario will have a family doctor.
And how will you ensure that?
Well, we need to have more individuals coming forward. So we need to have OSAP, student loans for individuals. We need to help those individuals. We need to have housing for those individuals. We also need to have employment while they're going to school. So we're going to be creating jobs, and we're going to be looking at affordable housing.
Okay, makes sense. And what is your vision, or if you get selected, or as an MPP, what do you think, what is your vision, or what steps will you take for at least coming 1 year? What change can you bring it to this region?
Well, we know for a fact that when you talk about change, it doesn't happen overnight.
Correct.
But think about the philosophy with the Liberal Party. Liberalism is to ensure that each one of us are starting with the same level playing field. And we're going to have support system in place to assist individuals. So for example, right now, I'll give you something that we just talked about, Ontario disability. The Ontario disability right now, there are individuals who are suffering and who are receiving a low amount. We're going to increase that. People with taxes, when we're talking about the tax break, we're going to split the tax. So this way people will earn more. Our purpose is more for you. Now, let me ask in general, like, why are we calling an election at this time? We have a year and 4 months to have that election. It's scheduled for June of 2026. So why now? $189 million we are spending on an election when that could be used to help our economy.
And do you think it's just a waste of money that they are doing?
It's not a matter of waste of money, because we are going to have to spend money in June of 2026. But why now? Why now? Because we don't need to have a provincial election right now. Why now?
And there are so many different communities that live here in this region. How will you take everyone together?
Great question. I'm a recipient of 3 Queen Jubilee medals. One is a golden, one is diamond, and one is platinum. You get that every 10 years for the community work that you do. I'm a recipient of all 3, 30 years of community work. When we talk about diverse group, here in Markham-Thornhill, it is very diverse. Just this morning, we were out at the mosque. A few days ago, we were out at a temple. I'm going to other different communities reaching out, and I've always done this. I believe in building bridges, and in order to build bridges, you have to bring the people together, whatever race you are, culture, religion. We got to bring people together. So I've always been doing so, and I don't represent one group in the sense of culture. I represent Markham-Thornhill residents.
Right. And now how will you work with the provincial government to ensure that the funding that they give it to this region should be enrolled into the things that are needed first?
I'll give you a good example. I chaired with our mayor, Frank Scapiti, the York University Committee. I'm the one who suggested that when I was a regional councillor, that we should have a committee to bring in all the community that we have so that they come together. When we were creating this and looking at investigating how we're going to pay for this, we got the approval, and then when the Ford government came in, they slashed some of the funding. So we had to go out there to reach out to get the funding. Being a voice, a strong voice, it helped. It helped because we were always talking about it, talking to individuals and receiving the funds. And we opened up York University just a few months ago.
Right. Makes sense. That's so good to hear. And I have seen so many videos of viewers going to house, and even in the winters, you are going there just to show how dedicated you are. Mm-hmm. Just a personal question: do you think people are encouraging it?
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know, in order to run in an election, you want to reach as many people as possible, okay? And it used to be, you know, door-to-door canvassing was the key to reaching people. But sometimes people are not home. So what happens, and especially now, wintertime, do you know the last time we had a winter election was in the 1980s? So now to be out there in the freezing cold, it's one thing, and that's not going to stop me. I'm out there every day, door knocking. But we have social media, and social media is there to be used, and that's very, very important. So yes, we are asking people to look at their social media and, you know, respond. Because if we don't get to you at the home, then, you know, we want you to look at social media. And keep in mind, we only had about 4 weeks for this election, and we have about a little less than 3 weeks to go.
Right.
So it's going to be a short, and when we say a little less than 3 weeks, think about it, people can vote right now.
Yes.
They can go to the Toshiba building and they can vote right now. Then we have the advanced voting, which is on the 20th of February. So when we talk about 3 weeks of an election, no, we're talking every day now. People can go out there and vote. So why are we having such a short election time period? Ford called it. Why are we having one now? Ford called it. Do we need it? No, we don't. Because remember, Ford said that he wanted a mandate, right? He said, I need to get a mandate because of all the tariff that's going on. But what is happening is that he has 79 members of provincial parliament. The Ontario NDPs, they have about 28. The Liberals, 9. The other parties, independent, about 6. A Green Party, 2. So doesn't he have a mandate? So that's why I question why it is that Doug Ford is having an early election. He said he needs a mandate. He's got the mandate. Is it because he wants to secure his job? Well, of course he wants to secure his job. Is he looking after the people? No, he's not. Because remember, we got to think about what he's done. When you think about Ontario Centre, this Ontario Science Centre closing down, just like that, a snap of a finger, he said, we're closing it down. When he talked about the liquor, the LCBO, let's cut the contract a year early. Snap, he did that. When we talk about building affordable housing, well, he decided, okay, you know what? We're going to go into the green belt. Snap, he did that. So I am saying, why is it that we need another 8 years of the Doug Ford government? We need to put in the Ontario Liberal Party. We need to be that voice, because with the tariff that's going to be coming, and we don't know when, we need to be to ensure that the regular people, the day-to-day people, are given the necessary resources. Do you know that there are more people going to the food bank right now?
Yes.
More people who are homeless. We have encampment that's going up. What is he doing about it? But guess what? It's an election. I'm going to give you $200. That's going to help you. $200 is nothing, Doug Ford. It's not going to help me as a person. I need to live, and that means every day. $200 cannot buy the groceries that I would have to buy for my family. And could you imagine people with young children? How are they going to survive with $200? Ontario Liberal Party, more for you. We're going to give you tax breaks. We're going to implement policies. We're going to give you grants that's needed. We're going to look at rent control. We're going to make certain that we are there for you.
And when we talk about homelessness and more people going to food banks, how Ontario Liberal Party will ensure that when they are in power, and they should resolve this issue so that more people will get houses and they don't need to go to food banks just to fulfill their basic needs?
Well, one of the things that is happening is that people are suffering with mental health issues, and as a result of mental health issues, that then put them out, unfortunately, where they become homeless. We're going to make certain that we have the support, the funding to have support system in place for these individuals. We don't just put them out on the street. We need to help them. Young families, we need to make certain that they have enough money that they can go buy groceries. And in order to do so, we're going to be looking at how we can implement policies to ensure that, because we care for people. We do care for people.
You're right.
And when I say people, I don't mean people who are well-to-do, because when you look at Doug Ford, where the contracts that are being given for all these development, I mean, think about it. Doug Ford wants to have a tunnel underground, the 401, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be in my lifetime. I know that for a fact. But you know what? We have a 407. We could be using that. Why didn't he think about it? But no, it's election time, and all of a sudden he's coming up with remedies because he thinks Ontarians will fall for all his...
And now he said, Doug Ford said that once he got elected again, he will remove tolls from 407. Would you have to say something on that?
Well, again, it's a ploy because, you know, it's an election. So he's going to say all these things. If Doug Ford meant what he wants to do right now, why didn't he do it on the first term or the second term? Why now at an election? That's all I can answer.
You're right. And if I ask you personally, why did Doug Ford call for this election?
He wants to keep his job.
That's it?
I can't see anything else because look, he's got the mandate. He's got the most MPPs at Queen's Park. He's high on the poll before. So why would he not want to call an election? He's using this as a means to secure his job.
You're right. And last question to you finally. Why people should trust Ontario Liberal Party, and why should they believe in you?
Well, number one, the Ontario Liberal Party is there for the people. We will make certain that there are policies in place to help the individuals who cannot maintain day to day their lifestyle. And that comes in many different ways, whether it's the healthcare system, the education, small businesses, mental health issues that we talk about, children with autism. Think about our schools right now. They're overcrowded. Why is that? The teachers are up in, they're disappointed and angry with the government right now. They're overworked. They're tired. We don't have the type of structure for the schools. I mean, teachers have to buy their equipment to bring to the school. Why is that happening? So your child, who you think is being educated properly, is in a classroom with over more than 20 students. They don't have that one-to-one, attention with the teacher. So the Liberal Party is there to ensure that the residents here in Ontario will get the policies in place to help them to be better citizens, better residents. Why me? Well, I'm going to tell you, I am not shy. I will be there. I will be at Queen's Park. I will be speaking for the residents of Markham-Thornhill, because you know what? They need to have a strong voice, and they don't have a strong voice. We have to keep that in mind. Keeping residents in line of what's going on, up to date with what they're doing, with issues and everything, that's what I want to do. I want to be the voice for Markham-Thornhill residents, because that voice is not here.
Well, before we end this, I just got one more question I would really like to ask you. Crime is very high right now in Markham, especially in York region. So how Ontario Liberal will solve that issue?
Well, the crimes, because I'm a lawyer, so I do criminal and family law. So when we talk about crimes, we're talking about the criminal code. That's a federal legislation. But when we talk about sentencing and jail time and whatnot, think about it. The jails that we have right now, they're not working. So what happens is that you have, these individuals getting out early because they're released, because they don't have the facilities that would keep them in there. What can we do? Absolutely. We're going to investigate why this has happened, and we're going to move forward, because young offenders, the groups, the gangs that are being created right now, we just had recently in our own Markham, in our own community center at Markham Mall, we had a break and entry. Like, I couldn't believe it. I looked at the video and I saw these young people with bats hidden I've never seen that. I've been in Canada since 1969. We didn't have those things. So why is there an increase? Why is that happening? And we're going to investigate and we're going to address that, because individuals have to be safe in their home. They have to be safe when they're driving their cars. I mean, we don't want this. We need to address that, and that will be one of the things that I will be looking at, because in Markham-Thornhill, in Markham, it's increasing, and we got to know why.
And when we talk about young generation, nowadays, children under the age of 18, 15, 16, 17, they are more into crime. So how will you deal with underage people?
Well, we see what is happening with underage people right now is that because they're treated separately and differently, in the sense of they're not given like the jail time. So these adults are looking at that and enticing these young people to come forward and to do the act, because they know they'll just get a slap on the wrist or a fine, and that it's no big thing. But it is a big thing, because that will be used later on in their life. So children, they need to understand this. Teenagers need to understand. We need to get teenagers out there doing things that will help them to help themselves, not to be influenced by these gangs.
Right. And at last, would you like to say something out of your personal view to the people?
What I want to say to the Markham residents people is this, and to all Ontarians, as a parent, we tell our children, try. And when they fail, we say, it's okay, try again. And what I would like you to know is that I've been doing this for 30 years. 30 years running municipally, and now for the first time running provincially. I never gave up. And it's very, very important to have that message. Don't give up. When you believe in something, believe in it with your whole heart and just persevere. I know I can make a difference, but in order to make that difference, aside from what I've done before, I need your help. I need your support. I need you to come out and vote for me on February 27th. Right now, you could vote, early voting. Then there's the advanced voting on February 20th. But I need you to believe in me. I need you to come vote so I could be that strong voice for you, because right now we don't have that strong voice.
Thank you so much for inviting us here, and I really hope that this time you definitely get elected. And again, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the opportunity to come, because you see, one of the things is that when you're the government, and people rush to your doors, but when you're not a government, you know, it's hard to be out there in the media. And I want to say thank you from my heart that you came out to interview me. I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Vote Nirmala Armstrong. I need your support. You can vote today at 191 McNabb Street from Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you. Hi, my name is Nirmala Armstrong, and I'm running to be your next Member of Provincial Parliament for Markham-Thornhill.